was friends for like a very long time, and it was like, what is this? We was really playing games, to be honest.
So I like when we go on our first date, we already acting kind of married.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to Be So For Real podcast.
Today's topic of dating as a Christian. Dana, I want to hear your thoughts. What is?
Wait, can we start with when's the last time we've dated? Like each of us.
Okay, you go ahead first.
The last time I dated, I was. Oh wait, let's start with what is dating, because I'm like, I've talked to people, but I don't think I've ever like dated.
Courted.
I don't think I've ever been courting and like dated somebody. So what is dating first? Sorry, hopping.
Okay, so I'm just go based off my own definition, not Google's or what social media got it as. Not sneaky links. That's not dating. That is exactly what it says. Sneaky linking. Okay, I feel like dating is when two people are in agreement that we are getting to know each other. We want to go out and sometimes exclusively, non-exclusively, because dating does not mean that you are my boyfriend. That means that we are dating, meaning that you have the ability to talk to whomever, how many people you want to, unless you and your partner decided that this is something that we want to be just exclusive with. But be very careful with that, because you can be dating somebody for a very long time and not be their girlfriend, not be their boyfriend. You can be dating somebody for a long time and be missing and wasting your time. And it sucks to suck, but sometimes people need to know that, baby, as females, sometimes we go it all in for the first man, versus dating, which is, getting to know other people and exploring our options. And dating does not mean that everybody you're talking and texting, you are kissing and sleeping over their house. That is different. That is something completely different. So with dating, that dating to me is, we're texting, we're physically going on intentional dates, not like, oh, we linked up real quick, like, oh, watch, like, we're intentionally going on dates to get to know each other, like, purposely, so that's what I would consider like dating. Because you could be talking to anybody. Dating is another thing. It's stages to this thing. Dating, situationships, we're boyfriend and girlfriend, we're fiance, and then we're married. Not in that order. I'm just saying those are the different categories.
You see in the face. Why you look like that?
That's way too much. Like, it is so complicated. I hate it.
She had this thanky face.
It's just, I hate it so bad, because why is there so many steps to this thing? Like, I just think in my head, my version of like the romantic stages, it's friendship and then dating, then marriage. And the fiance thing is an attachment to marriage, because you will marry him. That's the whole point. Like, I'm not doing a situationship in the. I was looking to this man the other day. First of all, this man looked like he's 19. So I'm like, he's new around the area. So I'm like, how old are you? This man said 39. I said,
dang.
I was shocked. Yeah, but hey, man, I was like, are you single? Not because I was interested. I'm just nosy. But I was like, are you single? And he was like, yeah, and I was like, oh, okay, like, are you in, because people like, I'm single, but I said, are you in any situations, whatever. He said, no, I just told you my age. He said, I don't do situationships. I said, hey, man, so I really adapted that, because I already didn't believe in situationships, because situationship, like, be serious. Like, that don't even sound right. I say, yeah, 3 stages: friendship, dating, marriage. Because what else is there to do? You know what I mean? So dating in my head is the middle ground between marriage. That's the further getting to know each other beyond, in a romantic sense, because I think any relationship, especially one that is romantic, should begin in friendship, and then the dating stage is where we now get to be like, okay, you want kids? like now it's becoming a serious thing, and then from that stage you get to marriage. So I'm not doing. I don't know the difference between dating and courting. I really don't care. It's the same thing in my head. I'm gonna be honest. Like, I just never made the real distinction. I feel like we tried to in an earlier episode, but I'm like, now I feel like I have evolved in this sphere so much since that episode. Like, that just don't make no sense. Like, What is that? You know.
I'm cracking up. Well, I feel like I've never dated. I've never dated a man. Never.
You went on a date, but y'all like were y'all
It
dating?
wasn't necessary. It was kind of like a. Did I know
Field trip?
Yeah, it was like a field trip. I didn't know he was gonna take me to this nice restaurant. Did I? Did I? Good question. Oh man, we were friends for y'all know about this person. We was friends for like a very long time, and it was like what is this? You know, we was really playing games to be honest. But we dated for 2 weeks. I broke up with him, and then what happened? And then like a few years later, he came to Georgia, took me on a date, and then went home. Yeah, it was rough. It was rough.
I would say for me, my last date was maybe 2023. No, oh girl, that's a force. That is such a force. It was not 2023. It was before I moved to Philly. That was my last like actual like date. Like, okay, like, you know, and I had went through like a little season where I had a few little prospects. I had went through like a little phase, and they ranged from all different colors, ages, and traditions. And there was like a little phase I was going through. Not color, the different shades of the same color.
I'm like, don't be on here lying to these people.
It was that white man, wasn't it?
Ooh.
Did y'all date, or did y'all go on a date, or is that just
who you talking
So
about?
what white man?
Oh, the one I let get away.
Oh, the one I will never let you live now. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yo, man.
I said, girl, what?
Dang, I probably would have been in California with you right now. Dang. Literally. But no, we didn't date. We actually just had a friendship, and I'm cute, I'm attractive, I'm a good time to be around, and it was like, hey, let's get together, and we hung out one time, and
so
it was
dramatic.
Girl, turkey.
Yeah,
I'm just
made me some turkey
remembering.
spaghetti.
I'm screaming at that whole situation because I remember you came over and you told me, I said, what is wrong with you? Because your whole explanation after the fact of why this was not going to work, I said, you know this already.
My thing is, female ladies, we know when we wasting our time intentionally, and we know when we like, and just like men know, a lot of times we be like, girl, you knew when you was wasting your time or not. Like, if you like this man, if you didn't like this man, whatever. So when it comes down to this young man, he was a nice young fella. He had a lot of
he was cute. I thought he was cute.
Yeah, he was cute. He had a great potential, but it was
I feel
nothing
like
we
you
could
couldn't
do.
get past the white man part.
She really
Girl.
couldn't. Be honest.
I feel like you couldn't get past the white man
Be
part.
honest.
And he was a little shorter than me.
Was he?
Yeah.
That was the same right stuff.
That's a little shorter than me. Like we was looking each other in the eye, as well as he was an in the bed dog person.
Yeah, but he's
so
white.
That
is something, honey. That is something that can be worked on. You know what I'm saying?
Okay,
you can't change the whiteness. That was the issue.
It don't matter. A couple months later, a couple months later, he was engaged to somebody else, so he moved quick. Okay.
Oh yeah, he ain't about them games. Oh, we like a man like that.
We like that. Yeah.
Just like,
I mean, we want him to be thorough in his investigation.
We wasn't meant to be together. Okay, how about that? The Lord didn't give me my confirmation.
No, you
definitely didn't ask either.
Anyway. Dang, but I get it. I have my regrets.
It's okay.
But outside of him, my last date I would have to say was before I moved to Philly. So that was 2023 is last year. That means I moved to Philly November 2022. So that was my last my last time I was going on a date. I was we went and we had like a good like little like date after date after date, had some really good times talking on the phone. It was a good little vibe, but that also did not work out. I'm not picky. I just know what I want. Huh? He was just lying, and I could tell when somebody lying to me. He was a truck driver, and he just was lying. Like he was just lying. He wasn't trying to admit that he was lying. And when I ended up moving, because we ended up we knew each other for some time, and then we went on a date, because we finally were in the same city. I'm finally single. You're finally single. Whatever. We get in contact, and he's like, "I've been looking for you." His first message to me was like, "You are my wife," and I'm like, "Boy, what? Like, what are you talking about? Like, stop it, what?" So after that, we went on a date. And like when we hung out, the date was like amazing, y'all. It was like I could feel it. I'm like,
Are you
wow,
making
like
this up? What truck driver?
She just keeping secrets. That's all.
hey, you dropped me off to the date.
This one.
Yes.
I was gonna ask, is it the light skin one?
Yeah.
Oh, never mind.
Wait, is this the one from a different state that I know about?
A different state.
No, not. Wait,
It's not the one I'm
not
thinking about?
not the one in the north.
Who is this man? We gotta talk. We gotta talk after this. What?
So, when we went on the date, we had like a really good time. It was really like, it was new for me because it was my first date as like a reformed, like not a transformed or rededicated Christian. And so it was interesting. And we went on a date, had a good time, but my discernment was on an all-time high where it was like I was like, dang, this what happened when you don't ignore red flags. This what happened when you can like use your wisdom and like you actually like activating your discernment. You can hear and you start asking specific things that help navigate through the BS. You know what I'm saying? That help navigate through the nonsense that everybody tries to throw out.
Yeah.
And so I was just like, yeah, this not it. And then I went to Philly and we still like we're talking at that time. He's like, I'll come up there when you coming back down. I'm like, I really don't know, but might be able to come up here. It's a little different though, because I got like a roommate. And he like, what do you need? And I'm like, oh my gosh, I wanna send you my whole Amazon list. And I sure did. But it was just
Did he
certain
send it?
things. No, we didn't. We stopped talking. It was, but he did send me gifts. He sent me off with some really good stuff that I still have to this day. And I just remember him. It was his birthday. That was like something's not right. And he's like, he kind of went missing because like you go from like good morning, afternoon. Did you eat breakfast? Here's this, here's that, and I'm like, oh, he's grooving and moving, buddy. But on his birthday, whatever he ended up doing, it ended up later out coming out. Like on his birthday, he was in a hotel with balloons. No grown man turning 29 is in a hotel with balloons by themselves. And I'm like, boy, I just talked to you too. Like, I just talked to you on this day, and you was talking about oh, I didn't do nothing. I just went to dinner with my family, went home, just got some good needed rest. I bet you did. I bet you did. And so I was just like, yeah, that's not it. So I kind of just went a little ghost on him. And then I just remember him texting me like sometime later, like, dang. And I'm like, nope, I'm not doing this because I waste each other's time. You don't, I'm not doing this
For real,
with you.
sir.
Yeah. And the dudes try to like come in with the love bombing, the God bombing. And I don't like that. That really just boggles me up. Like, oh, you like God? This other beautiful man, beautiful young man from Canada. Beautiful man.
Oh, we've never met a Canadian.
Yeah, this young man was a beautiful Canadian. He was a model. He was like literally a picture on Twitter that you like, is this a real person? He was real. But every message was, hey, I got a song for you. It was like he was sending me all these gospel songs and these scriptures and stuff. And it was like not really actually trying to get to know you. Then I'm like, when are you coming to America? You know what I'm saying? Like, when are you coming down like on the bridge? I'll meet you in Michigan. Like, what's going on? And that just didn't work out. And plus I was at the very very, very beginning of my walk. And again, I was dealing really hard with religiosity, and I took a lot of stuff that I was going through and I put it through like my trusted vessels at that time. And if they gave it like a red flag or or a do you really think? I was like, yeah, you know what? You're right. And I would just stop talking, which I would completely do things so different now, which I have been doing things different. But that was my last time I went on a date, y'all, 2022. Boo, tomato.
What about you, Don? I gave mine. Wait, did I?
Yeah,
Yeah, you did.
Went on a field trip.
That date that wasn't really a date, right?
Yeah.
Not a field
Trip
trip.
is crazy.
But very adequate. Like it's very fitting. But I think my last date it wasn't that long ago actually. Like this was with
Ooh.
Okay. I think at the time it was definitely a date. Looking back on it, that was two friends sitting down for dinner, like, but at the time it definitely was a date, like at the time. It was nice. Like he came to get me and we went to some restaurant and like by the beach, not by the beach, but like the city is by the beach, and so it was late at night. It was cute. We just went to
You had
dinner.
heels
That's it.
on?
Nah, I look like first of all, yo, that man think he funny. He talking about some. I look like Amber Crombie and Fitch. You look like Hot Topic.
Yo,
And
and
y'all
I can
know my
see it. I'm
style
cracking
is,
up.
yeah, of course.
Mm-hmm.
My style varies depending on how I'm feeling. So I might be super girly and then heels, and then I had on like these combat boots because I just got them. So I'm gonna wear these combat boots. And then also I wasn't trying to give off the vibe of like, you know what I'm saying? Like this
Yeah.
wasn't. That's why I'm like, it was a date, but it wasn't a date. And so I think that would be my last. Yeah, that would be my last date.
Mm.
And how did it go?
You hear that she said they friends then?
Yeah, no, I mean it was fine. It was cute. It was cute. I think we never went on another one, but after that was like no, okay, I'm starting to remember. It was fine. It was fine.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm.
It was late. I shouldn't have been out that late, but it was late. Like, I don't
There.
think I got home until like 11 or something like that. Like, why are you outside this late with this man? He don't care about your
Mm.
safety.
You know how much
He don't care.
my daddy was at the house. He's like, I need to be
Right.
home at
Why are you just
7.
be out this late? But I think it was like last minute planning also. Like, I think it was like,
No
was
effort.
this a Sunday? Hold on. I don't remember the day, but I think it was like, I think we had like decided like, oh, you want to do something? Like it was super last minute. It was like, oh no, okay, I'll take you to this place. And then we got there. He let me pick the restaurant based because I'm a vegetarian. So like, where do you want? Where do you want to go? Because I can't eat
Mm.
anywhere. And I'm like,
A
me
lot of
too.
places.
And so yeah,
Dang,
Mm.
that must suck.
we went to some Mediterranean place. Yeah,
I feel like
yeah.
what is the I don't want to say requirements, but what are the like standards of dating when it comes to like,
Like
dates and stuff?
you saying, like the
Like
guy.
with the planning and stuff. So do like should they be planning like a detailed like put the real effort in? I feel like that's a requirement. I feel like that's when it comes to dating. If you want to date me, you gotta you gotta show some effort. And I feel like if you somebody said this, I believe it was Prophet Egypt, but he said his wife said like he didn't open the door, and it said something, and she was like, if my mom or my daddy taught me that, well, no, I'm glad you showed me like who you are now, so it wasn't like a
Mm-hmm.
surprise later. Basically like thank you for not being fake.
Yeah.
Still think you should open the door though.
You know what's so funny is that I remember that same story, and the thought process behind both of them as they told it was, she's a very like strong woman. Like she's very
Mm-hmm.
like, I can open my own door type stuff. And he is very traditional from what I know of them. And he was
Mm-hmm.
like, well, I didn't want to like kind of offend you by opening your door, so I let you open your own door. And she's like, to Angel's point, thank you for that because but he's like, no,
Yeah.
now I open the doors for her, like
She using the back end and stuff, so all that other stuff. I just had the simple story, or maybe I just didn't get
yeah.
the details.
Yeah. I would say when it comes down to like a standard of dating, I feel like um it doesn't always have to be traditional. And what I mean is our first date being dinner and a movie.
Mm-hmm.
I like stuff like where we can get to see each other. I know using my last dating reference, that was a really great mixture. First and foremost, the first date, He took me to go get my nails and my toes done. So we went straight up exposing. Y'all know if your toes ain't been touched in a minute and you go on your first date with somebody, you like, please do not look down until they start like buffering. Like, don't
until
do
they're
that.
painted.
Like, please don't look down. Cause I'm like, I got cute toes, but I know where my toes have not been, and they have not been in no salon before like we went out. Like,
And then
so I'm
people
like,
ignorant. They be in there like, no, you need callus remover.
yeah, so you just sitting there like, okay. But I like dates that that allow you to see the other person's personality. So even going like to Top Golf, you get to see people's competitive side. You get to see how they handle people when they may be being mishandled. You also get to see like kind of like the reaction when the bill comes. I think that's one of my favorite parts, because I'm one of them like, what you get? You got shrimp and lobster for like, was it good? Because we had went to Benihana's, and you know, you can rack up a nice little, you know, like a nice little bill. But I think when it comes down to the planning, I never had to think about where we was going. It was just like hey, it wasn't, but it also wasn't like get in the car, we're just going. It was more like hey, I was thinking about this. How do you feel about that? I'm like, oh, that sounds nice. And it was just like all right, dad. You know what I'm saying? Because I need to know where we're going, because I got to make sure my babysitters are in deck. And it's like, do you want me to pick you up? And I'm like, no, I can get dropped off. And also, I love a door holding. I don't know. I'm a romantic fantasy type of girl. So I like when we go on our first date, we already acting kind of married. It sounds bad, but it's just what I like. You know what I'm saying? Like when you driving and stuff, and you already like holding my hand. I'm like, if I like you, if the vibes is there. Now you got to read the room, not first when you get in the car, but it's a way that somebody can make you feel that's like I felt like oh my gosh, he been waiting all this time to get with me, and he finally on a date with like his dream. Like that's how I felt.
Feel like
That's how I felt. The chairs being pulled out, the doors for the car being open, and the doors for like, you know, the place being open, as well as like even when I get in and it's another person behind us, like let them in too. Like I just think I like cute stuff like that, and like already kind of handling the bill, so there's not that awkward moment of, you know how much it is. It's like I love me a man. If you want to imagine like what type of man I like, think of everything that you see on TV, the cute stuff. That's what I like. Every last thing. All that. Oh, you an independent woman? No, soft girl me. Fill up my tank, please, okay. Like, so I think with dating, I like uniqueness. I like assertiveness. I like to, as somebody who's always in charge, I like to not be in charge. I want you to be in charge. I want you to take care of the stuff, because I always have to think. I always have to do the calculations. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, no, like, you know, even with the vegan thing, no, you want to take me on a date, you know I'm a vegan. You find a restaurant and say, oh, have you been here? You know, or like hey, I want to take you to this place. It's a vegan restaurant. All right, let's go. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, but of course you can get people's opinions like, oh, yeah, I went there before, don't like it. Sure. I like a little dessert. I like a little walk on the beach, or walk on the balconies of not balconies. What's them things called?
A boardwalk.
Of there you go. I knew it was a B. But like the boardwalks, I like a good little rom-com life. You know what I'm saying? Without the drama. I love it. Like, sign me up, you know? Come outside with a boombox. You know what I'm saying? Like,
now you're getting wild.
Let me get in the car and you like hey,
why are you
I got us 2 tickets. Are you free to go? I'm like, wait, really right now? It's like, yeah, we're gonna go shop when we get there.
Me personally, I just feel like men be lying. Like they just be lying sometimes, because like they be saying, this is what they be saying. They be saying stupid stuff like, I want somebody, because they just be like, you're lying right now, and I just need you to realize that you're lying, okay? Because they be like, well, I just want somebody to go with the flow. Okay, let's say that you actually did want that. Where are we flowing to, honey? What is the flow? What is the current? And then we ask our questions. They're like, well, blah, blah. And they be like, I always want somebody to go well, I want it to be like, well, we're going here and be ready at 7. Okay.
Yeah, I need a little bit more
detail. Text me, when you go to the text. You know what I'm saying? Because they just be lying. Like, you're not doing that. Like, you need to be serious.
Yeah. But go ahead.
I was gonna say, I think I'm scared to end up being one of those people like, no, it's okay, I'll open the door. I'll do it. Oh no,
No.
yeah.
One thing I'm gonna let a man be is a man. Like I'm not, and like
I'm not
it's
dating.
gotten to the point like it's almost like a little fake because I will definitely act like I can't lift this thing, and then I will pick up a whole couch when the man is not around. But if there's
If
men
you
right there, I'm absolutely like, what are you doing? Nothing. So you can help me for 2 minutes.
I think that's something I'm learning from mom because mom is so funny because it's certain things that like I'll like try to do, and my grandma like be getting on me about it too, about like letting the men do certain stuff. Like I'll literally just pick up a small box. She'll be like, "No, you don't want to hurt your back. Let the men get it. Let the men get it." And I'm like, "Grandma, it's a small box." And then mom with mom is so funny. She be like, taking out the trash. Oh, like,
No, for real.
like it's just little things I've been learning recently and just in life of like letting men be men because I'm so used to and I love doing this stuff. I'm so used to like I'm gonna figure out how to
Yeah,
put HDMI cable in. I'm gonna figure out how to I like to figure these things
For
out.
sure. This is my advice. You do that when you at the house by yourself. You know what I'm saying? He come over, you go, I literally couldn't even watch TV. Literally. Wait, so when I was
I'm
texting you, you
telling
was
you.
watching Grey's
Yeah,
Anatomy. What you was watching? On my laptop,
I was on my
literally. And then
computer. Like I
watching on
just
that.
logged into Netflix.
Like,
Hmm.
look, you know what I'm saying? Like the TV, we all know we could watch. We can mount it up. We can pay $50. But it's like,
Girl, I was in there like
Why? Why? Like, why would
mm.
you want it? Like, I honestly, I not hear me, please, because why on God's good earth would you want to do the things that men have been given the ability to do? Y'all always want to talk about when men are stronger. Let me see. Like, I'm your biggest cheerleader. Honey, you're so strong. And I'd really be meaning like when they be picking up couches and like, I'd be at church, they be lifting chairs and I'd be like, oh my God, like the stage, like they be picking up the stage. I'm like, y'all are so strong. And then I literally do this stuff for work. Like this is
yeah,
my job. So when I do it at the job, I'm like, my boss be like, no, she got it. And then I'm like, honey, we're serving right now. Don't tell them that.
don't do
Don't tell, you
that.
need to separate the two because I need these men.
Like,
And honestly, I'm gonna help somebody right now because there's some strategy to it. Let's say among these men is a husband. Okay, maybe not mine, maybe somebody's, but he could be mine. Okay, I don't want nobody who don't want me soft and feminine. You're okay with me picking up a couch right now? No, I don't like it. Because I'm not saying you got to pick it up, but you need to hire somebody or something. You know what I mean? Like, I never want that to be the idea. And it gets like, that's a ick for me. Like, you watch
yeah,
me struggle. Like, why would you want to watch me struggle? Like, that's not giving that's not giving my man to me. Like, that's somebody else's man because she might like that. No, I don't like that. Like, even going on a date, like, I wish I would reach to pay. You know what I mean? And I feel like the first time you gotta be courteous and be like, oh, you want me to like, are we like, if a man lets you order first and you order your food and then they go, are we together? I go, are we together? Like
Oh, then
friendship,
I
it
got
doesn't
it
matter.
down.
It
yeah.
like,
You gotta be on that.
girl,
And I
and
don't
then
want to go
it
nowhere I
reveals
can't
to
afford
me
myself.
precisely, I could pay for it. I don't want to. And then it reveals to me your intention because I feel like the natural disposition of a man is partly in provider and caretaker. You know what I mean? Because we're women, we automatically become the responsibility of somebody. If you're not married, you're still the responsibility of your father if he's around. And then once you become married, you are now the responsibility of your husband, right? So death do us part, honey. You gotta take care of me. You know what I'm saying? So in between all of that, you need to see those qualities within a man, and they need to be activated because sometimes these men they haven't been activated in their previous relationships because they dated a "I am woman, hear me roar" type of girl. No, this is not. I am not a feminist. I'm gonna just say it straight like that. I'm not a feminist. I believe in traditional roles. I believe in men being men. I love it, and I say that as a woman who has a very masculine leaning job. Like I work on for a building. You know what I mean? Like I take care of a building. Like I'm painting, I'm patching up holes and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
I will do it in heels because I still need you to look at me and go, like, oh, she's cute. Like as I'm making
Don't do it
decisions
here.
about, like no, because and then I will also, I might be right, and I'm 9 times out of 10, 8.5 out of 10, I'm normally right. But if there is a man involved, sometimes you have to stroke their ego and make them feel like it was their idea. And you just have to be okay with not taking the credit. You know what I mean? Like, I tell you an idea, you repeat it back, but I got what I wanted out of it. My goal was not the recognition. My goal was for us to do this thing. And so you could take the credit, honey. So I would go, wow, that was a really good idea. And I will say it so genuine because it was a really good idea. It just wasn't yours.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But there's a wisdom in dealing with men, you know what I'm saying? And it doesn't matter. I don't have to think about you romantically. You're a man. I'm going to deal with you in the way that I would deal with any man. And that is by making you feel and letting you be a man. Like if you're sitting there and I'm about to, like, because we sometimes have to carry these generators and things are my size. Like literally, and I can pick them up. I cannot pick them up, but they're on wheels. You pull it, you know. It's not that hard.
Yeah.
But I wish I would walk past 5 minutes sitting talking together and not ask one man to come. So now that's my fault. Because now I'm a bro to you. No, don't bro me.
Yeah.
Like, don't dap me up. I don't like stuff like that. Don't dap me up. I don't like that.
Yeah, I think
Don't
that
do
stuff
that.
is I think that stuff is like I think that stuff is really, 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 really important. And I think there's ways of getting to know somebody, even with the friendship. You kind of see and kind of are able to gauge it. And then you kind of, I've seen the difference of a man who's friends with a girl and then a man who starts to date the friend, because there's a dating portion of them, and then you have the one men that are, consistent in who they are, like you said, like around all females, and you have the one that's like that I'll dap her up, but it's like, oh yeah, like I'll still open up a door. And then I got this girl where it's like a no, I always, I hug, like, what I'm saying, when I first met her I did like a handshake to see if she was comfortable, but I'm more of a hugger, and just things like that. In that sense, I feel like it's like when we're dating and we're going into this dating world, as a Christian, it's so much. It seemed like they be having so many rules, and a lot of times they be unrealistic. And when I say unrealistic, I mean of I don't I from somebody who's dated and has her experience, and I'm gonna circle back to this, but I want to circle back to what you were saying, Dana, as a single mom who has a young man. And there are a lot of times where I'm in the car with Daniel and I've shown him how to pump the gas, but there is times I love my baby to pieces. We do not have time for this. Not today. But I pump the gas like a lot. So when I get around other men, I know that this was something that I had to like I remember a friend of mine, I was with him, we were in a car, and this is literally a friend. There would never, ever, ever be anything that way. But we were in the car, whatever, and I'm driving and I had to get gas. And so when I went to the gas station, I always pay attention because this says a lot about a man. Because I feel like rather if you're a friend, if you're dating, if this is like your little cousin, you get your butt out of that car and you come pump this gas. You know what I'm saying? Even if I'm paying, it doesn't matter. This man sat in the car and I got back in, and I let the whole process go through. I got back in, I said, so thank you. He was like, "Oh, I didn't know if you." I said, you need to work on that. I said, I don't know how you gonna get you a lady like that. I said, because that is a icky, icky, icky. I said, I was waiting. I said, I was purposely. I was out there like, and he in the. You could see him in the window like. I said, oh no, brother.
Well,
What I will say,
does that. He doesn't sit in the car, but he'll like when we get in the car, he'll like when we go to the gas station, like no, like don't get out the car. I'm like, okay, man.
Period.
Yeah,
okay,
so
what I will say
is
is
respect.
women have a tendency of putting on a whole facade and Broadway play to get a man to move. And men are not men of sight. Like they don't look like that. Like that's not how they move. You need to ask that man. You need to be
Yeah.
as clear and explicit with that man. Don't let him see you struggle with the water. That man don't care. You know what I'm saying? Especially if he's not looking at you in a romantic sense. I'm gonna ask before I pick up the water to struggle, because you know how gonna have the chance to see me struggle. Because I'm gonna go, hey, I'm on my way to pick up these waters. Every time I see a man, I'm asking him for something, not because you know what I mean. Like every time if you're around and I'm doing something and I need help, or I think I might need help, or it look heavy, or it is heavy, just because I can doesn't mean I should. You know what I mean? Like no, I will ask every single time. Like, and I think more women need to do that. I feel like we've been taught too much independence. No, what are they here for? What do you work out for if not to lift these waters? You
Yeah,
know,
no, that's
like what are
good.
you doing it for? I will ask every time, every single time, and it's gotten to the point where, and then you kind of conditioning them. So once you get into the habit of now this man is always used to being asked, like if I see Dana and I see her struggling, their natural inclination is no, let me take it. So now like I don't have to ask anymore because they will offer. You know what I mean? At least the
That's
men that I'm
good.
consistently around, like now they will come and they're like, what do you need? I'm like, well, I have to move the stage. Oh, no, we got it. Okay, you want help? No, and they're like offended by me saying, do you want help? That's the goal, honey. You should be offended by me asking because you
Amen.
got it.
No, that's good. Listen,
But
you
you
have
gotta
a good
ask. It's
system.
okay. Yeah, you gotta
Uh,
ask. It's gonna be weird at first, especially if you're not used to it or you're a naturally independent girl. But you have to stay feminine. You have to feminize yourself in their view because you might look feminine. But if I'm already in a relationship, 9 times out of 10, that man is not looking at you that way. He can appreciate your features, but if he's married, he's not really. And if he's committed, amen, he not really looking at you in that way, even though he like, oh, she thick, like that's not really in there. Like it's just the process of a man. Like it just, you look, we do it as women, you look, you
Yeah.
like, dang,
mhm.
but it's so subconscious. You didn't think anything of it. You weren't like, oh, I want to marry her, or maybe I'm gay. Like that wasn't the thought process. You was like, oh, dang, she's a little thick, and you kept it moving. Men are the same way, especially if maybe you're friends with them, whatever. They're the exact same way, but you need to feminize yourself to them by kind of not playing, because I'm not playing. Like it's not a fake thing for me. Like it's genuine, but I keep myself in the feminine role by ensuring that they always feel like a man around me. Like there's never a time that any man has been around me and I don't humble myself. As weird as that is now, where I don't humble myself even in asking a question I already know the answer to, or you know what I mean, or asking it in a way that they feel,
Mhm.
because I need you to feel like a man around me. And here's also the thought process. Let's say you're security. If something go down, I need you to grab me first, honey. So I need you to be like, let me, the, the logic is there, honey. Like I need you
Yeah,
to help me,
it
but I
makes
also need you
sense.
to grab me.
I think it makes sense. I think it's a good way to like gauge it. I think those are the things that in your singleness, people you get to practice on. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like for me, when you were so like I said, I'm so used to being in charge, independent, and da da da. It's like I don't want to do nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I don't want to do nothing. I don't want to think. Like I just want to be here. I just want to be cute. I just want to. Oh, lip gloss on traffic. Dang, 45 minutes.
I'm cracking
You
up.
know what I'm saying? Like
Passenger
like
princess.
I just and my
Puts on
passenger
lip
princess
gloss.
very, very,
Yeah.
very, very laid back, you know. So I think it's like when you're dating and your singleness and before we you have to practice these things because they play a big part even when you get married. They play a big part when it comes down to submission and being able to be like as someone who's not around a lot of males or like in males who who act who move and you don't see that sometimes when I get around them. I know like when I used to go to some like church events or whatever and I get around the married men or whatever, they would end up doing certain stuff and I just be like, dang, I didn't realize how I wasn't around no men because I'm like, this is normally what we do. Like typically it's like, let's move this couch. It's like you and your girlfriend, like, let's go. Cause I even down to the friendships of like not having a lot of male friends to even call like, hey, I'm like about to get my house together. Come over, help me put the stuff together. And it's like, you ever see the girls and it's like my friend came over. I told him I was gonna help him build the couch, but he ended up building this up. But I fed him. You know what I'm saying? I made sure he got some food, something to drink. I never really had like those like male friends or those male figures like even older than me, like grandpa. Like I never had that. It's always just been me or like strong women. And so now I'm in this era of like I need, like you said, feminizing myself, getting very like, okay, because like when I seen it, I'm like, oh, this brother. I said he tripped. I said, well, I'm so happy that ain't my type. I said, I'm like, ooh. And I'm looking, and then when I got back in, I said, "You got to work on that." I said that he like, oh, I said, I'm just saying that's trifling. I'm like, you. I said that's really trifling. I said, you always just sit in the car. He like, no. I said, oh, I'm like, oh, we. I'm like, and I'm having like a whole little.
Drop you
I'm
off.
like, yeah. I said that's crazy, bro. I'm like, you cannot do that. I said that is gross. I said you would let your daughter. I said you need to start treating people as if how you would want your daughter to be treated or your little sister. I said, whether you talking to them or not, I'm like, you gotta get that together, brother. I said, because, I said, if you ever thought you was finna holler at me, ever. I just want you to know it was not happening, even though it was very clear it was never going to happen.
Since we're talking about dating as a Christian, like, is it wrong to date somebody outside of Christianity?
If you're a Christian, yeah. Why you want to be confused in your own house?
Ooh, that's good.
Yeah.
That's
Because
good.
and I think, okay, let's really go into this. Okay, let's say you marry this man,
Yeah.
right? Let's say you get in this relationship, it becomes serious, you marry this man, and he's Muslim or he's what's the
Nothing.
other ones?
He
Buddhist
is.
or
Yeah. 7-day Israelite.
I think you just
I
made that
could.
one up. I think it's Adventist, but
I know what you're talking about. Though.
No, because I dated somebody, he was something in them numbers.
yeah, like Jehovah's Witness and all of those things are completely different. Like at least if Catholicism, we believe in the same God. You know what I mean? But like
Some stuff iffy
anything
upon.
else, okay, biblically, when you get married to a man, this man becomes your bridge to God, biblically speaking. Like that is how marriage is supposed to work according to our Bible. He is now your covering, meaning he is also your access point to God, right? In a lot of ways, he becomes small g God in your life because he's now Lord, meaning master of your household, head of household in modern times. That's how it has worked. That's how it's always supposed to work. And that's how it will continue to work, even as we evolve in society, as a society, right? But this man is now supposed to be your head, and y'all don't believe in the same thing. So you're asking for trouble in your house because he's gonna want to go some way based on his value system, which a lot of our values come from Judeo-Christian or whatever ethnic background that they come from. If you go to a Middle Eastern country, a lot of their values will be based off of, well, half and half. Some of it will be Judeo-Christian, and then the other half will be Islamic, values. Y'all have different value systems because y'all have different belief systems. So now you're gonna be like, well, something so simple as, well, in my country or in my religion, they do da da da. And I'm like, well, not in mine. Honey, y'all are confused as a household. So why did you do
Yeah.
that to yourself?
Yeah, that don't make sense.
You
That seems
know,
like a waste of time. And not
it
that
is
you can't be friends
completely
with that person and all that other stuff, but when you're dating somebody, and again, we're talking about dating with intention. We're not talking about dating just so you can have cute pictures, dating so you won't be single. We're talking about dating with intention. So if you're purposely dating somebody, and I think this is where the conversation on that first date, or when we're texting to come to the first date, these conversations are important. It's like what do you believe in? Like, okay. And I have to are you a Christian? Okay, because these things that you have to know, because as she said, when you're especially when you're talking about coming together as one, and we have to think about we'll be like, oh well, once they understand the one and true God, they can meet him, have dinner with him, and still deny him. You know what I'm saying? Like they can do all of that with Jesus and still want to say, yeah, I'm this.
The
So
face gone. We see the face.
so
What's
I'm
up?
like,
because
with
I'm looking to this like this is foolish. What is the
it just doesn't make sense. I think it's just wasteful. Like I think you wasting their time, they wasting your time, and there's graceful ways to go about it, but it just don't make no sense to me. Because what are we doing here? What are we here to play
not a
about? And
singular
like,
lick,
what if
honey?
y'all were friends and y'all known each other since 7th grade? That's why we're friends.
Amen.
Exactly for that. When it's time for you to convert over, and that's what God has for you, it will happen.
Yeah.
That's beautiful, etc., etc. But I'd rather you already be established in your relationship with God, because we're when again when we're talking about Holy Spirit, and you go, the Holy Spirit led me to go pray for this woman, give her $5, and we out, you like, what happens when God start moving and grooving, and y'all out and y'all dating, and they don't get it? Like you said, my culture, we don't do this. We have 1 or 2, 3 wives. That
Keep that over
in
there.
Testament,
Because they do that, y'all. Like they really do that. Like they really
Yeah.
out here is crazy to me. Like they really do that. And I'm gonna say this: you being a Christian is not enough for me. Okay, I need you to be a Christian, but you being a Christian is not enough for me. You being somebody who goes to church on Easter and believes in God, that's not enough for me. I need you also to believe in the same doctrine as me. Okay, because even within the body of Christ, there are different doctrines. Honestly, I say, God, please don't send me nobody who don't go to the same church or won't have the same heart for the church that I will, you know what I mean, or do, currently.
That's a good.
Yo, wait a second. Circling on down on that. I say that because my church is predominantly women and predominantly single women. We
Majority
don't
of
get.
churches.
You said what?
Majority of churches are women and single women.
Yeah, and it's so crazy the lack of men that are in these buildings. And I just remember I was having a conversation with a friend. I was just like I wonder when you get when you meet your man and he go to a church, do you start going to his church? You know what I'm saying? Or does he start coming to your church? And then how does the dating and how does that end up playing out? You know what I'm saying? Because I feel and my church is virtual. We don't got no buildings where people just can walk in and bring 8 cousins. They might be on the line, but only 1 or 2 people can fit on the screen. Okay. So and we have in-person events maybe every other 3 to 6 months. And even then they're we don't have events where you run into some single men in there where it's just so I just always had that thought. I was just Lord, are you gonna send them through my church? Because I said, and I also, but I'm a little different. I told him don't send him through my church. I said I want him to come with me. Do not send him through my church because great people, all of that. But I don't like when stuff is connected. I don't like that. I don't know.
No, my request is for a new cycle.
Yeah,
my request is for a new cycle of men, at least. At church, we have a current roster, you know what I'm saying? There's the men who are liked, and it kind of rotates, and I said, first of all, no. I know these men. I just think no. So I said we need new men. I said we need new single men who are, ready. They believe in our doctrine, whatever. But I think especially for me, oh honey, these women are scandalous. I'm gonna be for real. These women, no, I'm serious. These people were coming out. Okay, let me tell you a story. These men, our pastor, Prophet Lobi, is married. Apostle Gershon is married. None of our men really are single. Our leadership are single. Amen. I mean, men wise, they're usually married to each other, and you know how that works in church. But we've had women come from out of the country be like, yeah, I'm Prophet Lobi's wife. She in the bag. What you mean? I just bounced her. She in the bag. You know what I'm saying? You're like, no, and they be so convinced, and of course, in with people not fully understanding or letting their zeal take over or their feelings take over. Well, God showed me that this is my husband. Well, did he show that man? And then why would he tell you first? If he who finds a wife, why would God tell you first that that's your husband? The logic is not there. It's not there.
The math is not mathing.
It's not adding up, honey. It's not clicking at all. You know what I'm saying? But that is these women are ridiculous, and they come and I'm pro woman. I'm not a feminist, but I'm absolutely pro woman. And y'all be wilding sometimes. I'm gonna be real with y'all. You know what I'm saying? Y'all be wilding, legit, and that is just craziness to me. But I think for me personally, in terms of I'm not interested in a man who will not challenge me intellectually. I'm not interested. So if I can't come to you and you can't teach me anything in life, but especially anything about God, I don't want it. Sorry. I do not want it. I do not want it.
I get a little
yes, I have Buffalo. Bozo-y?
I get a little, I don't know what it is. It's like somebody can ask me a question that I don't know what it is. We could be having a good, Eric, you talking good. Wow. And then somebody can ask me something I'm a man can ask me something. I'll go, I don't know. I gotta really think about it. I get it's sometimes the logic goes out, but I like to be, and I just be having this. I'm I promise you, I'm not slow. I don't know why I can't think of these words right now. I'm
probably because you need to be talking to that person.
Yeah, that's possible, but it just be I just be sitting there and I'm and it's something I noticed, girl, you go bozo-y. But I think something that I've noticed that I do in a lot of relationships is I like to dim down my knowledge because a lot of people get offended, and a lot of people, and I've seen it so often in, again, if we're talking about our relationships carry on even into our dating. So I do it so often where I put this lampshade over myself because it's easier or it's more convenient for the other person. And so now I'm practicing to take it off. That's like a, yeah, no, I don't believe in that. That doesn't make sense. And you can give me with 18 Bible verses. You can give me with every statistics you want. This is what I believe. This is what I stand on. So really just building up that confidence and boldness. Like when I said what I said, I said what I said. But I get a little bozo-y because I just be feeling like, oh, I don't want to offend them or all this other stuff. But I'm working on it. I'm really figuring out like my own cup of tea with the dating and just being me. But it took some
Yeah,
time because
please
I was
work
so
on it.
used to turning me off for other people. And I
Yeah,
do it a
I think
lot. Like
that
I do
though.
it. Yeah, I hate it too. That's why I say, yeah, we gotta work on this.
It's
I'm
not
like,
good.
get your power
It's
back
not
and
it's
stand
not good
up.
for you.
You're weaker than me.
Yeah, like it's not good for you because if you meet a man and you turn on the bozo, right? Because you turn it on, like, and you get with this man and you turn a bozo, and then a year into the relationship, you all of a sudden turn smart. That man, one, is gonna be blindsided, and then two, he not gonna know how to be with you. You know what I'm saying? Because
He's
that's not
dated a both
something.
of them.
Yeah, and now you come out like Legally Blonde, like, oh my God, no, she actually knows what she's talking about, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And now there's again confusion in the household, but also you don't know if that's a real adequate covering for your life if he
Yeah.
doesn't truly know you. Like, I need somebody, me personally, I know I need somebody who has a large capacity to cover me because of the way that my brain works, right? I have so many questions, and I will, even if I know the answer, I have to think about everything holistically. So I could even disagree with what I'm asking you, but I still have to ask because I just want to know. And then sometimes I want to know how people think and da da da. And if they're irritated with the amount of questions, or they can't engage, or like there's a full stop for them where they can't even, like, oh, they're comfortable with not knowing something. Yeah, you can't cover me. You don't want to
Yeah.
look. You know, we're not gonna figure it out. You know. So for me, I'm like, nah. So I need you to get everything to know if you can handle it. You know.
That's a conversation me and Angel had recently about making like dating somebody who can carry your anointing. We talk a lot about men's anointing and like, being able to help and assist and help mate and all the cute stuff. But a lot of us have our own, a lot of us have been called to leadership. A lot of us have been called in specific areas where there are certain things that we will have to do. And having a man that won't get jealous, having a man that will be able to understand his own placement in this journey. And because now we, what I'm saying, we have female pastors. You have to be okay where it's like, if you are dating not the next but another version of God's version of a Sarah Jake Roberts, you have to be able to carry that anointing, like what that looks like. You know what I'm saying? The what happens when it goes against your ego, or we're talking about $1 billion women. Like, you know what I'm saying? We're talking about billionaires in the room. Like, we're talking about women who are going to touch and go places that, what I'm saying, generations before, prayed for us to go and didn't even think we would make it. So it's like when you go to these places and doing these things, people that can carry that, like, okay, she's not no one-time influencer. Like, this is a mogul. Like, you know what I'm saying? This is an icon that comes with a certain type of, life. So someone who can carry you spiritually and naturally in those areas is very, very important. As well as, again, being a single mom, like being able to not come in macho man, but being able to be sensitive to the type of man that Daniel needs, and not what you didn't have, or a man supposed to come in, no, take out the trash, versus like it's a way to do certain things. So the dating process can save you a lot of time, but we can't be blindsided. And you gotta really be honest with yourself and honest with the situation. That's like, okay, girl, good and well you're not supposed to be on the phone with this man till 3 a.m, and good and well, because y'all ain't talking about a dang on thing. Y'all getting into we're just getting into this conversation that went left, and it. Jesus has left the room. He like, oh, I'm gonna give y'all a minute. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's be honest. So yeah.
I think, I want to ask another question about, we talking about this. This was a question that kind of brought up this topic, about like kissing, like when you're dating as a Christian and stuff. like kissing and like, being touchy feely. Now I'm not talking about touchy feely, but I feel like that's pretty obvious. But like, like touchy feel, like, is that wrong as a Christian when you're dating, like kissing, like, cause there's some difference between like, oh, like a and a making out type kissing. So it's like, what's the line there? What's the line of like, all right, is it, my automatic thought is go off of conviction, but at the same time you can convince yourself that like, oh, this is okay. So what's the line of when should the line be drawn?
Me personally, as so this be my this be for the girls who ain't never kissed, for the girls who ain't never dated, for the girls who ain't never dipped their toe up in that water. You know what I'm saying? And came out with a baby. When for them girls, we're talking about like, you know what it is, you know what it ain't. So you like it takes a lot of like self-control and stuff. But I know for me, I had to experience my knowing my boundaries. You know what I'm saying? Like, a peck, okay, but 2 packs get a girl rowdy. You know what I'm saying? But again, working on self-control and what you can deal with. So I think it's one of those things of just like when we talk about listen to secular music, this song make you want to go kill people. I'm sorry, you can't listen to Meg this year. Like, you need to let her go. And I think it's the same way when we're talking about kissing in Philly, because somebody can, you know what I'm saying, hit you with and it don't make you go, ooh, you know what I'm saying? But for me, you ain't know that Rocco Johnson, that was his spot, you know what I'm saying? So for me personally, it hit a little different. I go, Jesus, you got to give me the strength. But that's when it's like you don't put yourself in certain situations. And I think it be the communication thing. That's my own personal process with the whole kissing thing, because I'm like, if we're dating and we're talking, like, I'm not kissing you at the wedding now. Like, but I also have this on my own time management thing of like, it's
Well, you say you're not kissing at the wedding?
My first kiss with you?
Oh, okay.
It's not going to be at the wedding.
Oh, okay.
Huh?
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that don't even make sense. If I want to see without no shirt on, we're going swimming. Okay? Like, let me see. I'm just saying. So I personally think it's a personal preference, but it comes a lot to do with, what you have experience in, what you battle with. I know what I battle with. I know my strong points and my weak points. And so I know Netflix and chill for me can go a little different. So I don't put myself in that situation where there's some that has had experience and are like, they have the self-control to do it. What if you put on? We watching 50 Shades of Grey. Come on now, brother.
Yeah, that's wild.
Come on now. It's like you try it. I'm watching something cute, romantic. It's baby go, oh my gosh. And then don't let me be up in your house. And I'm like, and I'm already. I told y'all go in like we're married, like not married, but I go in like, oh wow, so this would be the house I would be coming to.
Y'all
like this, my man. Like,
I feel like every woman does that. Most women do that where they're like, okay, I can see. They can see like if there's a future there or not. Like, this man, I can have his babies type thing.
Yeah, I think it's just a thing, and even just safety wise.
But there's a difference between imagining it and being delusional. Because it's really not just you. Like I feel like we all do it. Like when you have a crush, naturally you start being like, you get carried away a little bit. But honey, sometimes you gotta cut that stuff, because that'll lead you to delusion. Now you like this man more than you actually like him, or more than you would have, because what you really like is the image of him that you created. You like the man that you created in your head. And that's what happened to me like recently, because I noticed him first. I didn't approach that man. No, you would, oh my God, like you would never catch me. Like, what are you talking about? Like this is not, no. But I had noticed him first, and I literally, it is so funny, but I literally have texts about this man, because, you talk to your friend, I'm like that, and like, everybody like, yeah, so you gotta put him in the chat, but you gotta put him in the chat first. But I noticed him first, and then not too long after, he approached me, and I was like, oh, okay. But I had already, so I gave him more of a shot than I would have, because I was fighting the already preconceived notion that I had of him in my head. And when it didn't mesh, then I was like disgusted.
No, seriously.
Disgusted is strong, but like it was like, dang, like this is not what I thought it was. But it takes you a little bit longer to realize that because you allow delusion or quote unquote imagination to take over, and now you confused. So be careful, ladies. Like it's natural, but be careful, honey. You know what I'm saying? Like I got a current crush a little bit. Like right now I just think he's attractive. But that's the issue. You don't know nothing about this man. What you mean you like him? What you mean got a crush? You don't know nothing about this man. You think he's cute. Keep it there. you know?
So
Keep
when
it
we
cute.
get to the line drawn, I'm gonna be honest, I need specifics. Because it's not like I'm dating nobody right now. But, well, okay, so this is what I concluded, okay, from this conversation, from the question. What I concluded is go based off of your capacity. Of course, I feel like we obviously know, like, you know what I'm saying, we ain't finna be bumping uglies before marriage. That's the pretty obvious one. And then I of course, like people trying to keep it cute for the YouTube. People with the whole, trying to the handy touchy stuff. Y'all get what I'm saying. Y'all get with the handy touchy stuff. People are like, well, it's not bad because it's not, it's not the P to me. What do y'all have to say to the people who go, oh, it's not bad to do, all the other stuff, the gobble gobble, the boo boo boo.
Uh-oh. Not the gobble.
I'm trying to keep it cute. Y'all see what
Oh
I'm saying?
my God. Okay,
I've
well
heard people
okay, all right.
listen,
You're finished. You're finished. You're done. You're done.
You're welcome.
Okay. I think the point of not having sex before marriage is because it can defile you, right? Sex before marriage is not an explicitly written down sin. Like thou shalt not kill. That is an explicitly written down. Like if you kill somebody, honey, that is a sin. You in danger, girl. You know what I'm saying? Sex before marriage is not written down that way, right? And when we talk about fornication, Papa Lois taught us about this, where when the Bible talks about fornication from the perspective of God, he means it as cheating on him with other gods, right? Where, thou shalt not, da, 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 because they were making golden calves and they were da da da. So that's why he was like, they're like prostitutes to me, which is why he had Hosea marry a prostitute, because he wanted to prove the point, like, this is what y'all are to me. Y'all are cheating on me. You know what I mean? So you should not fornicate and be with other gods. Okay. Because why would God say fornicate? You ain't in a relationship with God in that way. So why would he say fornicate? Anyway, but the point of not having sex before marriage is, one, marriage in the day, they didn't have marriage certificates. Like you go to the courthouse, you got to pay the fee to sign the paper, and now it's a legal document that is legally binding. Marriage in the Bible was stamped by sex. Adam knew his wife, and they were one flesh, right? Because they had sex, just to speak plainly, that's how marriage was noted, and which is why they kept themselves, because once that happened, you are now married to that person. You are now one flesh with them, So that's part of the reason. And then the other part is that it can defile you, meaning it can invite other things, right? So if you are intimate with somebody and you become one flesh, the Bible tells us that if a man is to lay with a promiscuous woman, like they use the word like prostitute, then he is also a prostitute, right? Because you've laid with them, you became one flesh with them, you become the same person. So if you lay down with a man and his life ain't right, let's say he's dealing with addiction, he's dealing with all this stuff, you invite that stuff into your life by laying down with him and literally consuming or receiving anything of that man, if you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Okay. From whatever Angel was talking about, but through I'll push it in my eyes. I ain't got no glasses, but the point of it is to protect you, right? Not because sex before marriage is an explicit sin. You shouldn't. I'm not advocating that you should go and have sex before marriage. I'm not saying any of that. I'm saying the reason why actually you shouldn't is because it'll protect you spiritually from whatever that man is. Because there's a reason why you should go through premarital counseling. There's a reason why you should take that man to go see your spiritual covering so that they can vet them for you. You know what I mean? Any man I meet, best believe I'm bringing that man to church. Because I need Uncle Lee to meet him. I need Papa Lo to meet him. I need I need all of the 99,000, because maybe you going yes.
You have to be
And
able
then
to
you need
trust
to know
them.
whoever his community is, because if that man don't have nobody who would check him if he was wrong, then you're wrong for getting with that man, because you got with a man with no counsel. That don't make no sense. You went
This is
to
so good.
a business with no HR department, honey. You was asking to get treated wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you think about it that way, like, you don't got no rights. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, you need to know
Yeah.
where his friends are, which is why I really don't believe in online dating. You don't know that man. You meet him, and then now you start meeting friends and family 3 months later. No, you need to know that man. You need to know if I met him at church, he hangs out with this man, or he hangs out with this group of people. They do this together. Not because you need
Yeah.
to be in that man's business, but you need to know who knows him. Because
Yeah,
also
and the
birds of a
company
feather
you
flock
keep is
together.
important. Amen. Amen. That's
Precisely,
why
because it'll tell you a lot,
man,
because they
come
be
on.
faking too.
Come
So if
on.
you meet a man and that man and his friends are not nice people, or they're not gentlemen, or they're not this, or they're not that, he more than likely has those traits, and he acts in front of you.
You know what's going down at them fishing trips.
What fishing trip? I just saw this clip on TikTok, and this man was like, "Yeah, I'm going fishing," and he at the beach because he got a whole side family. Yeah.
And he posted on TikTok, or somebody he got
No, it
exposed.
was like a movie. It was like a movie. You know how they be posting like shows and stuff on TikTok, but they really be like that, like,
Yeah.
But that's to be real,
The
like.
company you keep is important because, as you said, I think getting yourself in a man perspective. Okay, I'm dating Dana. Dana is around married women. So when the married women go out for a good time versus Dana is out with 8 single women and now she's the first one married in the group. Because I think we have to just think about temptation. We have to think about ways that the enemy can come in and infiltrate and just bring confusion. So I think even when you have like a man around you, and I, of course, not sometimes, like when y'all get married, one of us might be single, God praying, we all will be married. We are going to be married at one time together because it's going to happen in the future. But I'm saying when the process happens, you know what I'm saying? It may look different. But sometimes you may be the married one and they're single. That don't mean stay away. But I think it's more of just one of those when you're around certain people, if your spouse, you're dating somebody, you're talking to them, and everybody they're around are literally known players. They're giving off player vibes. You with them every time you go out to a double date. He got a new chick. You got to really think about it. Like, so when he's by himself, this new chick that he got around randomly got her a friend, and he could be. It's no. No, you know what I'm saying? Who are you around and who's holding you accountable versus being around married men that are like, no, we don't
Yes, they
we
not
don't do
hanging out with
that.
no single women. Exactly.
We're
And
not
then
going to
even if he
Miami.
is,
Who?
right,
You want Rocco with
even
who?
if he is a
Oh
good
no.
example, even if he is a good example out of his friend group, why would you want him to be around temptation? Right?
Literally.
Because that's the point, right? And that's why you don't be in situations where, you don't want things to go left or da da da. Like, don't go over that man's house if you know you ain't built up in that area yet. You know what I'm saying? Like, why would you want him to be in a position where he could fall, even if he is committed? Because men don't cheat because they don't love their girlfriend. A lot of times it be convenient. A lot of times, you know what I'm saying? A lot of times it just be that they're weak in that area and they haven't been built up, or maybe you're their first real relationship, or it could be a million other things. But men are not like women where there's some emotion involved if they were to step out. Because once a woman steps out, honey, I see why men be done, because
And
you thought
self-sabotage.
about that. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like,
Sabotaging
you,
friends group is real for men as well.
for sure. Where now,
Like,
no, bro, like, you can, whatever. But like,
they want you single again,
nah.
buddy.
Yeah,
Your
you their
woman's too good for
wingman.
you. Like, I actually like her, to be honest with you. Like, you know what I'm saying? There are things that be happening. Talk about it.
Yo, what's so funny? I know a story like that, and it was like the boyfriend of the girl had something going on personally, and the friend liked the girl and told the girl what he had going on and took her to see it herself in person. And so then it was like, oh, eye-opening. But he took her not because he was trying to be a good person, because you knew what that man had going on before I ever got with him. But once you started liking me, then it started changing, where you're like, nah, I gotta tell her. Now you build a conviction, not a Holy Spirit talking to you. You know what I'm saying?
The Holy Spirit talking to you.
You know?
Yeah.
Now you want to be a good man. Nah. But I think I think we should give people some tips, especially as single women who are who have dated and are looking to be available. You know what I mean? Because your job is not to look. Your job, I think that's the first piece of advice. Your job is not to look. Your job is to be available, right? He who finds. Okay. So just be available. Because if he looking and he browsing, you can't shop in the back of Target. You gotta shop on what's on the shelf.
And
You know what I'm
ladies,
saying?
he
Like
is
they're not
not
about to
going
let
door to
you.
door.
Come on.
You have to
He
go
do not he's
outside.
not we hope he's not a burglar and that he don't do not break into houses where that's where you met him, you know. Or we hope he is not a stalker. He saw you one time at McDonald's and now he know where you live type stuff. We hope that that is not the case. So that means you also need to be outside. You need to be available. Where they at? Outside. So you need to be outside respectively, but you need to be outside. Then also the other part is he who finds a wife, not he who finds a girlfriend, not he who finds a situationship. You need to be a wife. And notice you're a wife before he met you. He who find you already are a wife. And so you need to be looking at the type of wife that you want to be. And yes, that you have also have to be moldable because depending on the man that he is, he might want different things out of his wife versus the standard of what society tells us a wife should be. But those are things that you should have together, right? You might not be able to cook, but what you gonna feed that man if you marry him? You know what I'm saying? Like you do have to cook a little bit, or you need at least need to have enough money to have a chef. So either way, you need to be financially stable. You know what I'm saying? You got to buy the food, or you got to buy the chef. You know, so you need to have money of your own. You also need to be able to be a good steward, because biblically we're supposed to be helpmeets. Whatever that man is supposed to be doing, you're supposed to be helping him with that. So you need to have some type of skill or something about you that will be attractive, because marriage is also a business. Okay, it is an agreement that you're coming into to build with each other. It literally has a contract for better or for worse, through sickness or health, you know, for richer or for poor. We will stay together for da da da. And especially if you have what is that thing called? A prenup, where they list out like they have anti cheating clauses, or you know whatever clauses. It's literally like signing your offer letter. They tell you we can do this, da da da. You can do this, da da da, and you agree to sign on the dotted line. Marriage is like that, you know. And so if you're not ready for that, you shouldn't be looking for, you know, you shouldn't be putting yourself out there at all. But you should be wanting to be built up as a woman before you get to the position of being like, I'm ready to be somebody's wife. Because if you're not, and now a man comes to you and you really weren't ready for it, you can not only destroy yourself, you can destroy that man, because men are sensitive in ways that women are not. They might not be as emotionally sensitive, but once they are hurt, honey, they be hurt forever type stuff, you know? Like they be scarred at least forever. Where now they like we did a colorism episode, and some of Aries' things was that one black girl in 2020 or 2023, or you know whatever it is, hurt my feelings, and now I just don't date black girls no more. You know, so men are like that, or it just takes one thing for to set a man off. If you, and then they're also very almost prideful about their ego. If you attack a man or you bring up something that he told you in confidence, or something that was vulnerable for him, and you bring it up in an argument, that man will never tell you nothing else. And honestly, he probably won't marry you if y'all weren't married. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, men are different. Men
I
are
don't have
different.
nothing to add on to that. I think that was some good tips and breakdowns on everything that we already kind of like. Bless you, everything we
Sorry, I
already
couldn't get to the mute button.
on everything we
Thank you.
already did. Everything we already had discussed. I think those were some good some tips, some walkaways. Did you have something to add?
Good.
Well, on that note, y'all know what time it is. We got a mocha letter. We got a mocha letter. We got a mocha letter. Let's find out what's going on. Dear Ari, I hope you're well. I'm writing to seek your advice on a topic that's been a significant part of my life recently, dating as a Christian. As a committed Christian, my faith is central to my life and influences all my decisions, including my approach to dating. I found it challenging to navigate this modern dating scene while staying true to my values and beliefs. Many of the dating norms and expectations seem to conflict with my desire to live a life that honors God. I've faced situations where I've had to explain my boundaries regarding physical intimacy and why I prioritize spiritual connection over superficial attraction. Sometimes it's like finding someone who shares my faith and values is nearly impossible. Girl. How can I stay true to my Christian beliefs while dating in today's world? What are some ways to find and connect with potential partners who share my faith? Any advice or encouragement you can offer would be greatly helpful. Thank you for your time and support. I am excited to hear what you have to say. Sincerely, faithfully searching. So, your first question, how can I stay true to my Christian beliefs while dating in today's world? To stay strong in something, you have to build on something. To have that strength and know that muscle memory and things like that in your singleness, take that time, as we were just saying, to develop your strengths in that area. So that way, the moment that a man comes to you, he cannot sway you not only out your draws, but out your faith, out your beliefs, out your morals, and everything that you done worked for. So that's where building up that spiritual man and building up that physical man and keeping yourself occupied with things that you are supposed to be doing. As we said, he who finds a wife finds finds a good thing. But you have to start doing the work now as you are desiring to be a wife. You didn't specifically say, but you're dating, so I'm assuming that you do want to be a wife. And so the best way I can say to stay to your beliefs, like I said, is to build up on that. Stay do the work that you need to do when it comes down to your communication, your articulation, your intellect, the way what are your beliefs, what are your morals, what are some things that that you're kind of flimsy on, that okay, you can watch a video and you're like, dang, that is a good question. How did Sodom and Gomorrah? Build up your faith and build up your understanding of stuff, so that way you can't be swayed, but you will be flexible to learn, be flexible to get a new perspective, and be flexible to stretch in those areas. But it's a difference between being stretched in certain areas and then being completely moved, like completely like, I'm sorry, you believed in God, you met him, and now God not real to you no more. You know what I'm saying? Because y'all went on a couple of dates, he was so nice and he showed you something different than any other Christian man ever showed you. So that would be my advice, to just build up on that. You said, what are some ways to find and connect with potential partners who share my faith? Um you have to go outside, like we said, you have to go outside. But I focus a lot more on the singleness. When you are in your singleness and we're talking about meeting potential partners, you will meet potential partners in places that you are supposed to be. We always think church, 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 and a lot of times I would currently tell people run away from the church, because these people are this is like a hospital. We're all in here to get help, healed, and you'll meet people in there, great, amazing, blah, blah, blah. But sometimes those be the main ones with the mask, with the sheep clothing, whatever. But if you're talking about meeting potential partners, you have to be able to expand your horizon. And so when we're talking about learning who you are, becoming that wife, this wife now new hobby is crocheting. This new wife is now, she's pottery. So now she's in pottery classes. She goes bi-weekly. She goes, she's a part of the walking and the hiking group that she's seen on Facebook, on Facebook groups, and they meet everywhere at Stone Mountain. Now you're not religiously, but religious is a practice, doing something you're currently going to these places, signing up for these clubs, you're putting yourself out there to join these different things. And that does not mean, oh, I'm on these apps, christian.com.black, baby, no. But literally going outside and getting yourself into things that you like, and when you're going out there, making sure that you go out as if this was your only in one shot, that if you met your husband this day, this is how you will want to be met, and this is how you will want to be approached. So ladies with the bonnets, and we just want to go to the store real quick, oh, it's not a big deal, I'm just going in and out. He can be going just in and out. Oh, it's late, ain't nobody be up at the Sugarland Walmart. You don't know that, you know what I'm saying? Oh, this whole demographic over here, just a lot of like chicken colored skin, and but baby, he might live over here too, because it's a good area. You don't know that. So when you go to these places, and how you approach these places, and will make a big impact on the potential. And a big thing too is your friend groups, the people that you're around, the people that you're hanging yourself around with, your friends that are also into other things, that introduce you and like, hey, come to this book reading, come to this poetry slam. Okay, cool. Versus your friend that's telling you to go to the engine room in Houston. You're gonna get a different crowd, and you can't be confused on the different crowd you get. You're going somewhere that's predominantly hookah and smoking. That's what your man in there is doing. You got the rare breeze that's like, oh, I just came with my friends. Oh, and you can meet them that way. But we also have to think about, okay, his friends are active hookah and smokers, like, and drinkers. Like, this is what they're doing here in the club. So go with full potential. go to different places, get outside. And if you don't know where to go outside and what to do, start with what you like. Start with things that you always were interested in. There's cooking classes. There is, places throughout the entire United States that you can go. Traveling. There are new restaurants. Changing your routine, switching things up, and being approachable. Sometimes even in our rest and be phase, it can be a little bit stank. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes we don't even notice that our model walk is a little stanky. Like, we walking with a mug, and then people finally say something, you smile, they're like, dang girl, I didn't even know you had that in there. I was scared. So that would be my advice for you. But I wish you all the well, and I pray that your journey of being yourself and authentically going through your healing and your self-discovery, that the man will be able to see who you truly are as you continue to polish your own rubies. And that's all I got for you, baby.
Amen. Amen. And that leads us into what? What? Say it with me. Tips of an angel. Oh, got a little stank on it today. My tip today, guys, well, the main thing that I've taken away and that I believe is helpful for everybody is self-discovery is the most important thing. And understanding yourself and understanding your values, who you are. I think it's very important for us to, like we said, go outside. So you can go on Facebook groups. You go on Facebook, and there's is it on Marketplace? It's a certain tab on Facebook where you can join groups that do hiking, or maybe it's groups in wherever you live that does Pilates, or it don't have to be physical stuff, but they do pottery and stuff, book clubs. Like, there's stuff you can join through Facebook groups. And of course, some of these are vetted out, some are not. So I will say beware, because it's like crazy people out here. But look on Facebook, and then also look on your local websites in your county or your whatever area you want to be in. Look up the website for the city, and look at the events that's going on in there that you may want to try new things. So just my tip for you today was join some groups, join some Facebook groups. And there's also, if you're a traveler, if you want to travel, there's a I gotta find the app. I'm gonna see, maybe I could put the link in the description and stuff. But there's a app where you can join groups of people who are wanting to meet new people, and they travel together. They go to restaurants together. They try new stuff together. It's like the Facebook group. So yeah, just get out here, discover what you may like or what you may not like. Hiking may not be your thing, but maybe making pottery may be your thing, or maybe making clothes or making shoes. They have stuff like that. Like, look out here. Get outside, do some things, and have fun. And that's all. Tips from me. Yeah.
Well, dating has always been complicated, whether you were a born again Christian or not. I think, if anything, now that you have a greater value system, it gets more complicated, or it can be at least more complicated. And especially if you're growing with age and maturity and, all the other bits and pieces that go with it. But let's make that complicated situation very easy with Speak Easy. So I have a verse for us today. I kind of like that. I think I might always kind of have a verse. There's so much there in the Bible, but this is First Peter 3:1-4. Likewise, you wives, be in subjection to your own husbands, that if any obey not the word, they also may, without the word, be won by the conversation of the wives, while they behold your chaste conversation coupled with fear, whose adorning, let it not be that outward adorning of plaiting the hair and of wearing of gold, or of putting on of apparel, but let it be the hidden man of the heart, and that which is not corruptible, even the ornament of a meek and quiet spirit, which is in the sight of God of a great price. To be a wife is not simply in looking good and making him look good. It's about the character that you have and the character that you can help to instill, right? One of the verses talks about that if not, they will fall victim to the conversation of the wives, meaning he is not leading, you're leading based on the way that you look or the way that the outward appearance is. Your character is the most important thing, not only to God, but in a relationship. A real man who is looking for a real wife is not looking for somebody who looks good, but somebody who acts good, somebody who has good character, who has good morals and good value system, that if they were to have a family with this person, that they would instill those values into their children. That is what it looks like to be a wife. And as we as Christians should be dating to marry, you already need to be a wife, as we talked about earlier, before you even become an actual physical wife. You need to have the attributes and the characteristics of a wife. And so that looks like having a quiet and meek spirit. And that doesn't mean that you can't be somebody who's high energy. It means that you have to be somebody who is wise what they do with that energy, somebody who is wise in the way that they ask for counsel, and the way that they seek counsel, and the way that they can entice a man to do something. You have to have wisdom, because that is the principal thing, right? That's Proverbs. And of course, in Proverbs, we get Proverbs 31 with the virtuous woman. She was a queen, you know what I mean? And that tells you the way that you should act. And so for us to call ourselves queens, and well, I'm a strong black woman, or I'm a strong white woman, or whatever race you are, ethnicity you are, honey, there's certain characteristics you need to have that will prove that you are. And so that looks like having a quiet heart, a quiet spirit, that you are self-regulated, so that you can then have a great influence on not only your house, not only your marriage, but the world as a result. And so with that being said, be strong, be courageous, be meek, be humble, but always, always be so for real. We hope to see you guys for our next live. Make sure you tune in for our Monday lives. We are live every single Monday, honey. We haven't missed one. We won't miss one. And so make sure you tune in. Make sure you share, love the video. Leave a comment, drop some topics on it. Sometimes it's difficult to think about the next thing to talk about. So please help us out. What do you want to hear? And then with that being said, make sure you tune in for our Friday episodes. Every Friday we post a new episode of the Be So For Real podcast. You can listen to us on Spotify or anywhere else that you find your podcasts. And with that being said, we love you and see you next time.
Later.